Welcome back to Weekly Wildlife Wisdom. So far, I've been your host, Zerietti, and let's go ahead and get into it. The first animal week being Desmatosuchus, an extinct genus of archosaur belonging to the order Ateosauria, which lived during the Carnian and Norian in the late Triassic period, some 228 to 210 million years ago. The first remains, now known to belong to Desmatosuchus, consisting of some preserved armor, was discovered in the Dockham group of Texas in the 1890s by Edward Drinker Cope, who assigned the animal the name Episcoposaurus haplosaurus. Uh, in 1921, in the nearby Tecovas Formation, one paleontologist by the name of Ermine Coles Case would unearth a partially complete skeleton, including a series of armor, which he formally described and named as Desmatosuchus sperensis, with the name meaning leaned crocodile in Greek. Since the localities of Cope and Case were only a few miles apart, the two taxa were synonymized into Desmatosuchus haplosaurus, and the initial type species of the genus. Then in 2008, a revision of Desmatosuchus by William G. Parker found the lectotype Episcoposaurus haplosaurus to be referable to Desmatosuchus, but indeterminate on the species level. Therefore, E. haplosaurus was considered to be a nomen dubium, and D. sperensis was named the type species of the genus. Two species are accepted as valid, being D. sperensis and D. smalli, named after Brian J. Small for his contribution to the study of the genus. Since then, a third species called Desmatosuchus chamonensis has been recognized. Desmatosuchus was surprisingly common throughout late Triassic North American formations, and in several instances, multiple individuals are having been found together, indicating that these were possibly herd-dwelling animals, reaching 15 to upwards of 16.5 feet or 4.5 to 5 meters plus in length and 620 to 660 pounds or 280 to 300 kilograms in weight. Desmatosuchus was a large quadrupedal archosaurian reptile. They sported wide bodies and long, thick tails, as well as shorter front limbs than back limbs. The heads are small, pointed, and shovel-like, featuring mouths with peg-like teeth. Desmatosuchus was also heavily armored, with their body possessing multiple rows of thick, bony scutes. They also sported spikes along their neck, with particularly large and curved ones over each shoulder. In life, it is believed that Desmatosuchus were large social herbivores, or possibly omnivores, which ate a large amount of insects, which lived alongside various lakes, riverains, and water sources, and may have burrowed to a decent extent. Next up is Remora remora, better known as the common remora. It is a species of pelagic marine fish belonging to the family Echineidae, which is found throughout the tropical and temperate waters of the world's oceans, in particular with particular abundance in the Atlantic Ocean as well as the Mediterranean North Seas. Like other remoras, it is notable for its dorsal fin, which has 22 to 26 soft rays, which help to create a vacuum that enables said fin to act as a suction cup, which allows the fish to attach itself to structures and larger marine animals. Due in large part to this adaptation, the common remora is able to form symbiotic relationships with other large aquatic creatures, such as whales, dolphins, porpoises, manatees, dugongs, sea turtles, sharks, rays, skates, sunfish, groupers, and other large bony fish. The host provides the remora with transportation, protection, and a steady flow of food. In turn, the remora removes parasites and cleans the host. Common remora primarily feed upon said parasites, as well as food scraps from the host's meals and plankton, reaching 16 to 34 inches or 40 to 86.4 centimeters in length and up to 2.2 pounds or 1.4 kilograms in weight. The common remora can be brown, black, gray, or a combination in color. Near nothing is known about the remora's breeding habits or larval development. Specimens as small as an inch have been noted to resemble adults in all aspects except size, but nothing is known about how or where they spawn. Dolichotis patagonium, better known as the Patagonian mara or Patagonian cavy or Patagonian hare, is a relatively large rodent in the mara genus dolichotis, which, despite resembling a mixture of a rabbit and antelope, is more closely related to guinea pigs and capybaras. Patagonian maras are found only in Argentina, from 28 to 50 degrees south. They prefer to live in shrublands and steppe habitats, but are also known to inhabit dry forests, grasslands, and the Mont Desert. Uh, they have adapted well to a diurnal cursorial lifestyle on with long legs, a reduced clavicle, and well-developed sensory organs, making them capable of running and communicating in these open habitats. Maras are herbivorous, feeding upon fruit, grasses, shrubs, bushes, nightshade, and various flowers. Mara are themselves eaten by felids, grisons, foxes, and birds of prey. Mara are social animals which live in warrens of less than 60 individuals, reach around 28.5 to 32 inches or 73 to 80 centimeters in length and 18 to 35 pounds or 8 to 16 kilograms in weight. The Patagonian Mara has distinct upright ears and long limbs. Its hind limbs are longer and more muscular than its forelimbs and has a longer radius than humerus. The feet are compressed, making them hoof-like, which contributes to the Patagonian Mara's resemblance to small ungulates, especially when standing or walking. The forefeet have 4 digits, while the hind feet have 3. The tail is short, depressed, and hairless. It has a gray dorsal pelage and a white patch on the rump, separated from the dorsal fur by a black area. In addition, the Mara has a white underside and a somewhat orange flank and chin. Patagonian Mara mate for life, with the mating season lasting from August to January. After around a 100-day pregnancy, a Patagonian Mara may give birth to 1 to 4 pups and have up to 4 litters per year. The young are weaned after around 11 weeks, and in ideal conditions, the Patagonian Mara may live up to 14 years. Next up is Balaniceps rex, better known as the whale-headed stork, shoe-billed stork, or simply the shoebill. It is a species of wading bird, which, despite the moniker of stork, is actually more closely related to hammerkops, pelicans, and herons. It's native to the freshwater swamps, rivers, and wetlands of Central Africa, from southern Sudan and South Sudan, throughout parts of eastern Congo, Rwanda, Uganda, western Tanzania, and northern Zambia. This solitary wading bird is notable for its unique hunting strategy, in which it slowly strides or even stands near completely motionless like a statue in the water, waiting for prey such as fish or amphibians to surface next to it before striking with lightning quick precision. Shoebills are also known to occasionally feed upon small water snakes, small lizards and turtles, baby crocodiles, snails, rodents, small waterfowl, and carrion. Reaching around 43 to 60 inches or 110 to 152 centimeters tall, 39 to 55 inches or 100 to 140 centimeters in length, with a 7.7 to 8.6 or 230 to 260 centimeter wingspan, and 8.8 to 15.4 pounds or 4 to 7 kilograms in weight. These large, long-legged birds sport big, wide feet, stout necks, and a dark blue to silvery gray coloration, with the chicks being brownish gray or blue in color. The signature feature of the species is its huge bulbous bill, the third largest amongst extant birds, which is straw-colored with erratic grayish markings. Breeding occurs at the end of the rainy season, and the solitary nature of shoebills extend to their breeding habits, as unlike pelicans, which nest in large colonies, shoebill pairs build their nests far away from any others of their species. The mated pair build a nest out of a raft of floating vegetation, where 1 to 3 white eggs are laid. Said eggs are incubated and watched over in shifts by both parents until hatching at around 30 days. Shoebills rarely raise more than 1 chick, but will hatch more, and the younger chicks usually die and function as backups in case the eldest chick dies or is too weak to live. Fledging is reached at around 105 days, and the young birds can fly well by 112 days. Under ideal conditions, a shoebill will reach sexual maturity around 3 years of age and live up to 50 years. Next up is Lampropeltis annulata, commonly known as the Mexican or Tamaulipan milk snake. It is a non-venomous species of milk snake which is native to northwestern Mexico and some adjacent Mexico-United States border regions. A primarily nocturnal and crepuscular animal, Mexican milk snakes typically inhabit dry and arid environments, such as deserts, shrublands, grasslands, dry forests, and rocky regions, including coastlines. Here they feed primarily upon rodents and lizards, but are also known to occasionally eat amphibians, small rabbits, ground birds, and even other snakes. Reaching 24 to 30 inches or 61 to 76 centimeters in length, the Mexican milk snake is short in length and large in width compared to other milk snake species. The Mexican milk snake has a distinct red, black, and cream or yellow colored banding, which wrap around the body. This coloration is likely an evolutionary survival tactic to ward off potential predators by mimicking the venomous coral snakes, which shares much of the same habitat, leading to the species sometimes being called the coral snake mimic. In contrast, the milk snake sports no venom. The coral snake's red and yellow bands are adjacent, while the milk snake's red and black bands are adjacent. Breeding occurs on rainy spring evenings, not springy. And approximately 50 days later, the female will lay 4 to 10 eggs, which will incubate for around 55 to 60 days before hatching. Newborns are around 6 to 7 inches or 15 to 17 centimeters in length, and under ideal conditions, a Mexican milk snake may live upwards of 20 years. Next up is Palomina prasina, better known as the European stink bug, green stink bug, European green stink bug, or green shield bug, is a species of Palearctic shield bug in the family Pentatomidae, which is common throughout much of Europe and parts of Western Asia, particularly the British Isles. Here they inhabit a wide range of habitats, including grasslands, forests, wetlands, shrublands, steppes, montane areas, coastal regions, agricultural fields, and even urban environments. They are herbivorous and feed upon the sap and juices of a wide variety of plants, including fruits, vegetables, shrubs, trees, bushes, grasses, flowers, forbs, and more via the utilization of their piercing and sucking mouth parts. Like other shield bugs, the European stink bugs can release a foul smelling chemical from their glands located on their thorax. This serves as a defense mechanism against predators. Reaching around 0.47 to 0.55 inches or 12 to 14 millimeters in length, their body is broad and slightly flattened, taking on the characteristic shield-like shape, which is typical of pentatomid bugs. As the name suggests, adults are bright green during the spring and summer. In autumn, their color can change to a brownish green to blend in with the autumn foliage, providing camouflage. Immature nymphs are also green but have black spots or patterns, particularly in the early instars. They gradually develop the uniform green coloration as they mature. European stink bugs appear in April or May, having hibernated in the soil all winter. They proceed to eat as much as possible over the next month or two, and then come June and July, the breeding season begins, where European stink bugs mate near constantly. The female lays her eggs in hexagonal batches of 25 to 30 at a time. After the eggs hatch, the green shield bugs enter a larval stage, which is really just their first nymphal stage, where they remain together in sibling communities. This is made possible by the excretion of an aggregation pheromone. In case of danger, another pheromone is released, which causes dispersal. The larval stage is followed by 4 more nymphal stages, as well as molting between each one. Under ideal conditions, the European stink bug may live upwards of 8 months. And next up is Dorudon, a genus of extinct basilosaurid ancient whale that lived throughout the world's oceans from the Bartonian to the Pribonian of the Eocene period, some 41 to 33 million years ago. First remains of Dorudon, consisting of a partial maxilla and several teeth, were recovered from the green sands of South Carolina by Robert Wilson Gibbs in 1845. Gibbs concluded that the teeth must belong to a mammal since they were two-rooted, and that they must have been teeth from a juvenile since they were hollow, and also noted that their similarity to the teeth then described from Zeuglodon, now known to be Basilosaurus. He dubbed the animal Dorudon serratus, with the genus name meaning spear tooth in Greek. Later, when exploring the type locality, Gibbs discovered a lower jaw and 12 caudal vertebrae, which he felt obliged to assign to Zeuglodon, together with his original material. Gibbs concluded that Dorudon was a juvenile Zeuglodon, and consequently withdrew his genus. Later, Swiss professor Louis Agassiz at Harvard examined said specimens, finding that they were neither teeth of a juvenile nor those of Zeuglodon, but of a separate genus, and resurrected Gibbs' genus of Dorudon. In 1906, C.W. Andrews would name a new genus of whale as Prozeuglodon atrox, and over the next century, many remains of various early whales around the world would be attributed to Prozeuglodon. In 1936, Remington Kellogg ruled that the generic name Zeuglodon was invalid and reattributed several specimens to belonging to either Basilosaurus, Prozeuglodon, or Dorudon. In 1992, P.D. Gingerich synonymized Prozeuglodon and Dorudon. Today, Dorudon fossils are known from Egypt, Pakistan, the United States, New Zealand, and the Western Sahara, with two species being valid, Dorudon serratus and Dorudon atrox. Reach around 16 feet or 5 meters in length and 2,200 pounds or to 4,850 pounds or 1,000 to 2,200 kilograms in weight. Dorudon was a medium-sized whale. Although they look very much like modern whales, basilosaurians and Durodontines lacked the melon organ that would allow their descendants to use echolocation as effectively as modern whales. In life, Dorudon lived in warm seas around the world and fed upon small fish and mollusks. As always, take care to my guys, gals, and non-binary pals.